Yes, check in. So just collect the eggs, you know. It's about a week and a half production right there. So usually box them out and give them to my neighbors because my neighbors and friends love the fresh eggs, you know. These in the store is probably $6 a carton, something like that. I don't know. It's expensive, you know, organic as they call it, but we already know everything is organic. But yeah, free range if you want to call it that. So yeah, back in the kitchen, back in the kitchen now. So time to prep up some brisket. Time to prep up some brisket. Got my got my work apron on. Yeah, you know we're grilling today. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get this brisket. Got the brisket. Wash my hands because I just came from outside, so gotta wash the hands. What them say? Cleanliness next to godliness. So yeah, here's the brisket. It's that good. Oh, the thing is heavy. Good Wagyu beef right here. It's beef brisket. Yeah. So as you can see, brisket is a very fatty portion of the cow here. So I'm gonna have to trim this up. Trim it up, slice it up, make it look pretty. We're gonna take off a lot of this fat and then some of the meat as well. But what I'm gonna do is with this meat, I give it to the dogs. You know, the fresh. They like. I feed my dogs fresh meat. They love that stuff. Try not to give it too much of the fat, but you know, a little fat is still good for the diet as well too. So yeah, so what usually happens is with brisket, you gotta, as I said, you gotta trim a lot of this fat off, because if you leave it on there, that brisket's gonna be too, I would say too soft, but it'd be too much fat on it, you know, when you smoke it. So I wanna trim a good chunk of that fat off. Get it all nice and ready for the grill. Some people literally clean like all the fat off. I like a little bit on there because it helps the meat to stay tender. Because brisket's on the grill for a long time. So you want some fat on there, not all of it, but you want some fat on there. Get some of this fat out. So this is the underside, and the underside usually doesn't have as much fat as the top side. Top side is where all the fat is. So when you smoke it, this is the side that's down, it's pointed down. So what happens is all that fat is gonna render down through the meat, keeping it nice and juicy and tender. So just carve out some of this fat out of here. As you can see, it's a lot. Big piece of fat. Look at that. Almost looks like butter. So much fat. Look at that. A lot of fat. But yeah, it's a pretty hefty sized brisket right here. Look at that. A lot of fat. You can probably use some of that to make some grease. But yeah, the plan is to clean up as much of this as I can. And as you can see, I'm taking thin layers off so I don't waste the meat. And try to do this as safely as possible without cutting myself. Should be using my non-cutting glove, but it's all good. I always try to shave it enough so the dogs get a nice little chunk of it too. Because like I said, they love that raw meat. Plus it's better for them. That raw meat gives them that nice shiny coat. You see? See what I'm talking about? Look how that fat on there. So I gotta get all of this off. Thing about this too is the best time to do this is when it's not completely melted. That's why you see it's a lot easier for me to cut that fat off. But it's not frozen, but it's not completely melted. When it's completely melted, it makes that fat a little bit harder to cut and hold on to. So I'll show you right here how thick that fat is. See how much I've cut off already? And think about it, like if I bought, I can't remember what the weight of this was, but if it was a 50-pound brisket, by the time I cut all this fat off, it's like a 25-pound brisket. But you just gotta time it right. Certain times of the year you can get a good price on the brisket. So I usually wait till the winter time to buy a brisket because the thought process is that nobody grills during the winter time. Not me. I grill it year round. But see, a lot of fat now. Glad my knife is sharp. Fat. Yep. See. All right, peeps, family. So this is gonna take a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up, and then what I'll do is I'll show you the final product once it's all cleaned up and we get it all seasoned up. All right. So stay tuned, and I'll be back shortly. I gotta turn the camera off. All right, family, we are back. So as you can see, I got the meat all prepped up. Look, a whole pan full of fat. That's a lot of fat. And this is probably about, I say at least 10 to 12 pounds of fat. But I mean, I still got a lot of brisket left, as you can see. Yeah, so I had to get all that fat from inside here. But like I said, you have to leave a little bit of fat, right, on it. So when it cooks, right, it doesn't, the fat's gonna render all the way through the meat and keep the meat tender. So right now, actually, you know what, let me slice this up a little bit. That's what I like when it's nice and neat all the way around. And like I said, I can give this to my dogs. You know, it's fresh meat. I love this stuff. Yeah, so like when I'm cooking my meats or prepping my meats, you know, chicken, beef, whatever it is, I usually get the fresh meat off of it to give to for the dogs, in conjunction with other food, but they like the fresh, the raw meat. So, all right, first things first. Some people use it, some people don't. I like it because it gives it a nice little tangy flavor. So we use mustard. And what the mustard does is help that season to sit, you know, once you put the seasoning on there. So we just rub in the mustard. Rub it in. Right? Rub in the mustard. Put some in here. Get mustard all up in it. Like I said, if you don't like mustard, you can use olive oil, or you can just put the seasoning directly on the meat. So you don't necessarily have to use this, but I like it because it gives it a nice bold flavor, plus that seasoning gets to stick in it. All right. So now, don't like my seasoning hand sticky. All right, so this is just, I guess I'm advertising for Traeger, but this is like a salt and pepper, garlic and spices. So brisket doesn't need a lot of seasoning on it, right? You will see some people do brisket and they put like, you can put whatever rub you want on it, but I feel like the basics is just enough. Some people just put salt and pepper on there. So, but this has everything in it already. Salt, pepper, garlic, some other spices. Because brisket is a meat that soaks up flavor. You know what I'm saying? Soaks up that flavor. Let's get some on the inside here. Yeah. Like I said, doesn't need a lot. Doesn't need a lot. Yeah, you'll see some people when they put their seasoning on, it's coated. You know, and nothing wrong with that either. Then I'm gonna kick it up a little notch, right? Because you don't know anything you do, have to add some yard flavor to it. So we're gonna put some oxtail seasoning on top of it. And like I said, every time I do one of these videos, don't think you got my secret. This is just one of many one of many ways to do it. You know what I'm saying? But drop some of that oxtail seasoning on it, because you don't know it have some yard seasoning, right? Yeah, look at that. Man, I wish y'all could smell this. It smells good already. Get some of that up in the middle. All right, that side is done. Flip it. Pepper mustard. Yeah, boy, somebody's in trouble. I'm telling you. It's not me. It's this brisket. Ooh. All right. We got the mustard. Spices. Yeah, look at that. Garlic, I can smell that garlic. This is the first time I'm trying this particular brand, or not brand, but this particular seasoning. Like I said, I'm not advertising for Traeger, but they do make some good. They do make some good seasoning. Last but not least, my oxtail seasoning. Yeah. So it's a nice and light. Don't need a lot. Now this meat's gonna soak up all that flavor. Yeah. That is it. Yeah. So we are good to go. So what we're going to do, I'm going to drop this in the pan, right? What we say, this side down, right? Is all we're going to put it on the grill. So that way, all that fat is just going to just render down into the meat. Yeah? Should just add some curry to it, like Sharkman from Junior Lifestyle of Fishing. Matter of fact, Junior, big up on yourself. Junior, Sharkman, DNG, you know, big up on yourself. And everybody else in Jamaica that's doing it. Yeah, love the vibes. Yeah, man. Miss Liquor, Colors. What you say? Fowl. Yeah, man. Poppy. Great Socks. T-Bag. Yeah, man. All the people out there do it. So, you know, go on and do the thing, man. You know, love what I go on with. So, there. So, alright, fam. This is gonna sit. I'm gonna wrap this up. Put some foil on it. I'm gonna let this sit for about 15-20 minutes. Or at least till the grill is warmed up. And we just leave it all at room temperature, you know? Let it marinate. You can also do this overnight if you want to, you know. So if you want to, you can do this overnight, let the seasoning soak in some more, right? And throw it on the grill the next day. All right, so we're good there. All right, so I'm gonna go outside. I'll take you with me. I'm gonna go outside here and fire up the grill. And you know, I'm gonna be using my favorite grill for the winter time, which is my Traeger. Yeah, I know I didn't put my jacket on when I walked outside, but you know, it's warm enough. It's in the 50s. So, and I'm not going too far. So, from a Jamaican people, I'm not catch no cold, all right? I'm not gonna do it there long enough. Yeah, so here's the Traeger. Let me set up the camera here so we can deal with this. Yeah, need to put some more pellets. So here's my pellets. All right, this is a mixture, maple, cherry, and a hardwood blend, right? But I said nothing about the hardwood, you know. But that's what I'm big man, so we can have some more. You don't know what I talk about. All right, so fill up this thing. That's why I say I love this thing, because on days like this when it's cold, I can just set my grill and you know, I have a little app that tells me when my pellet's running low. I see it's like it's gonna rain, so I don't have to be outside here. All right, so turn on the grill. I'm gonna set it, so for brisket, they call it low and slow. So I'm gonna set it to 225. You know what? I think I have a setting here for my grill. Cycle. Beginner's brisket. There it is. All right. Yes. Ready to start. All right, low and slow. The grill is set up, warming up. All right. So once the grill is set up, warmed up, ready to go, we'll check back in, get this thing started. All right. See you shortly. Stay tuned. All right, grill is warmed up. Go ahead and get that little clean off of it. I did clean it the last time, but all the little stuff left over. Grill is nice and clean. We want to get our brisket on. All that good seasoning all up in there. Look at that. All right. Fat side up. Good. That's it. What we gotta do. It's gonna be a couple of hours. So can see, brisket's on. So that's going to be a couple of hours before this thing is ready. So we got some more stuff to do, some more cooking to do in the house. So just stay tuned and we'll come check back on this a little bit later. All right? Brisket's on the fire. What me say? Somebody's in trouble. All right, so brisket's on the grill. Remember, I told you he was going to make something else. So this is because the brisket's going to take a couple of hours. So in the meantime, we need some food to eat. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a shepherd's pie. Yeah. So basically, so the ingredients here, potato. We're going to peel that up for me. We have a seasoning. All right. We meat there, so. All right. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cook that down and then start make a shepherd's pie, you see it? So stay tuned when we start cook. We just gather all of the ingredients right now, Yeah, it's a ground beef, for those who want to know, right? So I'm going to take you through the process on the can see, but as I said, this is a quicker meal to do. So that way at least we have something to eat until the brisket done, guys. The brisket are going to take a couple hours to get done, So in the meantime, we're going to just fix up them seasoning, yeah? And start cook the shepherd's pie. So stay tuned for that, all right? All right, so we are getting ready for start now, so here's my ingredients. Some mixed peas, mixed greens, some Worcestershire sauce, seasoning, ground beef. All right. So you know what I saw, cut up the potato. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is put the meat and get the pot, heat it up, and then we're gonna start cook. Start cook this what do you call it? This ground beef. All right, get this pot going. So, if you have never done shepherd's pie before, Google it or YouTube it. There's a lot of recipes out there, all right? And then, of course, you can season it how you want to season it, So, with the ground beef, you really don't need to put any oil in the pot because it's going to spring a lot of oil itself, once it starts cooking. So, you just break this up. This is the same ground beef they used to make like hamburgers and stuff like that. You buy it in the store. You can buy like the big sleeve of it, or you can buy little packs of it. Same ground beef they used to make beef patty. So right now they just cook it down. And this is a pretty simple meal to make. They call it comfort food, right? Because usually when the weather's cold outside like this, it's nice comfort food to have. I think it's originally from like, don't quote me on this, but I think it's from the Brits have a version of it, it's Scottish have a version of it, the Irish have a version of it, but I think it's from Ireland. And most comfort food come from poor people, right? You know, the cheapest meat they can find, or people couldn't afford. So they used to use this uncooked and give you a nice hearty meal, you know. So usually you find some foods that are generally from like the slave days or, you know, poor people food is now the most expensive food anywhere you go, you know. So shepherd's pie is one of those meals that you could basically make this and feed the entire family, you know. Very cost effective, right? So right now I'm just gonna let this start to cook down, and I have to check it constantly so it doesn't burn, right? So everything gets cooked up. Alright? So in the meantime, like I said, you know what? I can go ahead while I'm waiting. Go ahead and get my water. Yeah, so once it cooked down a little bit, then I'll add the seasoning to it. But in the meantime, get my water from my potatoes. I can put that on once that's filled up. So started building up that oil. See that, but turn on my other burner here. It's gonna be for the potatoes. But as you can see, let me show you. See all that oil? That's why I didn't have to put no oil in the pot. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna drain all that off, you know, once the meat is finished cooking. All right, so let's get back to business here. All right, my water. Go ahead and dump it on my burner. So that starting to brown. In the meantime, and in between time, my onion fell. All right. Go ahead and get my onion, my seasoning all peeled up. I don't have Lynn operating the camera because she's peeling the potatoes. Do we need more potatoes?
I do.
I'll go ahead and peel up the seasoning. Yeah, if you guys have been watching my videos to the end, I gave you a little secret about onions, right? before you peel your onions, while you're waiting to peel your onions, put them in some cold water. And that will get all your little, stop your eyes from burning. All right. A little tip of the day. Put your onions in some cold water before you peel them. That will keep your eyes from water or burn, that onion from burning. See why I stayed close? I gotta keep stirring this thing so it doesn't burn. Start to look like ground beef now, right? Ground beef you're used to seeing. This is how it starts out. My seasoning, rest of my seasoning. Some garlic. Makes it easier when we do this to peel. Never had too much garlic. Where's my garlic go? There it is. Wash this off. Nice this up. We're using another knife, a bigger knife, but this works. Not a lot of pepper, but a little bit of pepper. You won't use any of the seeds in here because you don't want it hot. Pepper is mostly for flavor. These are not Scotch bonnets, these are habaneros, but sometimes you get some good habaneros and they provide a kick too. So like I said, whenever you cook this, you can use your own seasoning, flavor profile, whatever you like. Ooh, this one like a little kick to it. Alright. So with the thyme, I just need the leaves. I don't need the stem in here. That's the leaves. So I'll peel these off in here. That's all I need is a little thyme leaves. Again, just for flavor. Because we really don't want this stock in here. Like any other, meals you're cooking, you normally leave the stem in there, but for this, you don't want the stem. Just the leaves. Keep all the flavors in there. A few little stalks won't hurt. Just don't want long stalks. Check my dog here in a minute. Stir this around some more. See that? I say you don't need a lot of, you don't need any oil in there. Now it's starting to look like the ground beef that you used to. Like I said, ground beef doesn't take long to cook. Once it gets a little bit brown, I'll strain this oil off of it. Look at all that oil. Strain the oil off of it and then season it up. Scallion. So you notice you wash everything, right? You get out the store and make sure you wash it. You don't want to leave nothing to chance. I'm thinking about it. I should have saved these roots to plant, but I always buy scallion. When my garden season comes, that's what I'll do. I'll just get some scallion roots like that I just cut off, and I'll just replant those. But it's too cold to plant right now. We haven't had our last frost yet. So up this way you don't want to plant your veggies too early, because then they start growing nice and that last frost comes in and kills everything. Like I said, I use onions in pretty much every meal I cook, so I'll have some more roots to cut off like that, and I'll show you when I plant those. Don't need a lot of scallion, but once or twice. Eye on my ground beef. Good. Ground beef. Almost cooked. My onions cut up. Soaking in water. Never have enough onions in it. Because normally don't like onions that much. But you won't taste it because it's going to be cooked out anyway. And this is going to be cooked out. See how my eyes are not burning? Because I soaked them in some cold water. Last time I think I was crying because I had to soak them. I forgot to soak them. Second onion here. All right, so potatoes are done, I believe. Let me check them. Yeah, some of the potatoes I had to put in. I had to add more potatoes just to make sure I had enough, you know. Rather have more than I need than not enough. I don't know. Some of these still feel like they need to cook some more. So, yeah, some of these potatoes need to cook some more. But as far as what we got left to do is, once the potatoes are done, we're gonna mash them out, and then we're gonna spread them on our ground beef. Put some cheese on them. See, I got over here, that's all my cheese I'm getting ready to use. So I'm just gonna use the grater and grate them onto the top of the cheese. Oven's already warmed up, So yeah, so we're just waiting on a few more minutes and get these completely cooked all the way through. All right, so check back in shortly. All right, so right now, like I said before, I had to add more potatoes to the pot. So the majority is cooked, but I don't want them to, I mean, they're gonna be mashed potatoes anyway, but I don't want them mashing out in the water. So I'm taking out the ones that are cooked. There's only a few of them left that's not cooked, but I wanted to make sure they were cooked all the way through. The ones that went in last anyway. So I'm taking out all the cooked ones. I'm gonna mash these out real quick. And hopefully by the time I get done, always tough in the middle. Yeah, hopefully by the time I get done mashing these out, then these will be done. So, let's see. A lot of potatoes. Yeah, that one's can stay. That's ready. That's ready. That's ready. Almost ready. 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 Alright. Let that one boil out a little bit more. You can go and watch it boil if you want. But it's almost ready. So what I'm gonna do is it's ready. Yeah, it's ready. Tricking myself. All right. So first things first. Just dump this water. Oh. Turn the stove off. All right. Got 2 sticks of butter here. Pot's still hot. Put that in there. Melt out this butter first. I mean, it's gonna melt when you put the potatoes in there, but I figure why not? Melt it out first. Only turn the stove on just enough to melt this up. I'm gonna turn the stove off. All right. Stuff our potatoes in here. gonna be a workout. But here we go. Work smarter, not harder. I might need some more butter in here. Told you it's gonna be a workout. These potatoes ain't no joke. Make sure it's completely mashed up. I need to spread this over each of my bowls. Okay, I think we got some mashed potatoes. All right, now we gotta cover up our shepherd's pie with some mashed potatoes. So this is the next step. Can't waste that. This is Jazzy's personal pie. I should be a baker. I'm gonna have to get my dad bakes, I don't bake. So I'll have to get him on here. I'll have to feature him on here one day. Bake some good stuff. Especially the Jamaican black cake. Yeah. Wicked bun it. All right, one down, ready to go. See why they call it comfort food? On a nice cold day, this is the best thing. Goal is to get the potatoes on top layered up nice and smooth. You can always add more, but I want to make sure that all my bowls are completely covered. I think I should have enough potatoes. Should have enough potatoes. Cover everything. Nice and thick layer. Spread this up. See what we got. More. Fill this out. That's 3 or 4. Number 4. This might be the perfect amount of potatoes. So this now will last for a couple of days. Now we might finish one pan tonight. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people do it in different ways. This is the way I like it. Some people probably scream because I'm going to put cheese on it, but I like cheese on it. Some people put gravy on it. Again, depending on what region of the world you're from, your preference is your preference. How you like it is how you like it. Just gotta fill in all these gaps. I wasn't too stressed over it because I know I made enough potatoes. That's good. All right, that was full. Level it up with the top of the bowl. What I say, nothing goes to waste. Using it all up. This is gonna be so good. See that thick layer of potatoes? And when it goes into the oven, it's gonna bake. Man, that thing's gonna get a nice little crust on top. I'll wipe these off in a minute. Fill this one up. Good. Let's put the rest in Jazzy's bowl. Alright fam, so when we were putting together the shepherd's pie, we put the potatoes on, we had a little snafu with the camera. So you didn't get to see when I put the cheese on there. But we about to take them out of the oven right now. So I'm gonna show you what's going on in here. So yeah, we dropped the cheese on it, put them in the oven. Yeah. So now, we good to go. Oh. That is it. Yeah, we're gonna turn off the oven. Then I tell me to turn off the oven like I don't know I'm supposed to turn the oven off. But yeah, we turn the oven off. Yeah, so it's my shepherd's pie. Good to go. Like I said, we wanted to do this in conjunction with the brisket, because the brisket's gonna be on for maybe another. We only have about, what time is it? We're probably about 3 hours into the brisket. It's gonna be another 9 hours before the brisket's done. So we had to have something in between so we can have some food to eat. Yeah, so as you can see, we have more than enough to eat. And hopefully Lynn's recording this particular one. But that's our shepherd's pie right there. Yeah, it's pretty simple comfort food. So we're gonna let this cool down and then dig into this food while our briskets are going at it. So stay tuned. Like I said, we'll check back in the brisket when we're probably about 6 hours in. Like I said, it's after 3, almost 4 o'clock now. I would say by 6, 7 o'clock, we'll check on the brisket, see how it looks. But that's gonna go probably till about midnight. Yeah, it's usually about 12 to 14 hours I'm just waiting on the temperature to get right, and then I can wrap it, and I'll show you that when I do that. But until then, just stay tuned. All right. All right. So let's check on this brisket. It's been about 5.5 hours now. Yeah. That's how we looking. About 5.5 hours in. I got the probe. And the internal temperature is, you can see that. Well, I won't catch the screen, but it's 161 degrees. So the goal is to get it internally to 190 degrees. Then once I get to about 190, then I'm gonna wrap it. So I'm gonna wrap it in, I can wrap it in foil, or I can wrap it in butcher paper, right? So if I wrap it in foil, it's just to get that temperature up, the internal temperature to 210 degrees. Or I can wrap it in butcher paper. Butcher paper only means I get more smoke on it, you know? So if I wrap it in butcher paper, I get more smoke while still getting that internal temperature at 210 degrees. So this is how we're looking, you know? As I say, it's probably another 6 hours. We're only 5.5 hours in. As I always say, low and slow, right? So I'll probably check back in a little bit later on tonight. It's gonna be dark. I wanted to give you an update before it got too dark. This is where we are with the brisket. But as you can see, it have a nice color to it, nice little bark and farm on it. And it just go on cook internally slowly. Alright? So right now we're at 225 degrees. Right? So you see, you might not, oh, there we go. Just have to zoom in, yeah. So right now, we're at 225 degrees. Probe say 161 degrees internal temperature, right? So we love about this, we'll do it for you. You know? So, just have to wait until the internal temperature reach about 190, and then I will wrap it, and then let it finish out. Once you hit that 210 degrees, and the brisket is done. Alright, so stay tuned, and we'll check in later on this. Right now it get cold again, so as you can see, me have on my jacket because it got up to about 57 degrees today, and then now the temperature is back to the 40s, you know. So I have on my jacket so I can't catch no cold. Yeah. So yeah man, we're gonna check in later and see. Probably about 9 o'clock. And by 9 o'clock it's gonna be dark. Alright, so we'll check in about 9 o'clock and we can see how the brisket look and see what the internal temperature look like. Alright? So yeah man, stay tuned, check in later. Alright, and we'll check in for the brisket one more time. But right now, shepherd's pie done. So we're gonna just go and eat some food until we check in back with this thing later. Alright, so stay tuned. Yeah man. Alright, so we just check on the brisket. Brisket good to go. So right now, plan is we get some food. I get my little share. Somebody come down already and get for them share, so I get my share a little food. Fix up my plate. Right now, just need to get, I warm it up, you know, I warm it up in the microwave. This is more than half it gone already. Yeah. Jasmine get here a little plate, and I get my plate now. So at least by the night, at least one pan I got done. You know? But yeah, I like my cheese nice and warm. So I warm it up in the microwave a little bit. See it there? Yeah. Half of that one had gone already. The first one not almost gone. And then Jasmine get fair like a plate out of fair one with all the veggies tonight, you know? So get my little food. Yeah. Warm it up a little bit. About a minute. Once I warm that up now. So listen, like my cheese warm too. Not even think it need a whole minute. And I would test out this little food here. Did I sample it still no? I do some small samplings on the food. Make sure it's good to go. You know. So I get out my little share right now. Yeah, warm it up. Yeah. See there? Shepherd's pie. So I'm gonna mash this up a little bit. Yeah, man. I'll tell you. So while the brisket are cook, they are going to mash up that little food here. Nice good comfort food, you know. Nice and warm. That's just good. Perfect seasoning. Not too much salt. I'm gonna come back to the water. I tell you, man. So the potato nice and cooked down. Yeah. This is it. Yeah, so I'm going to finish this food there now. As I'm say, I'm going to check in later. Probably about another 3 hours from now. Check in on the brisket. But this is the meal in between, you know? So I can finish this up. And we're gonna check in back later. Check on the brisket. Alright? I'm gonna finish that food here. Alright, good. Alright. Check in. See you there.